Hello, my name is Anthony Griggs of Six Hat Solutions, and today we're going to do a brief walkthrough overview of installing TFS for Microsoft Access. So number one on our list here seems pretty obvious. Of course, we need to install Microsoft Access into our system, but it is very important to note that it needs to be the 32-bit version. Apparently, Microsoft Access is not or 64-bit is not compatible with very many tools, and the source control is one of those tools back in 2010. The second thing on the list is that if at all possible, we really want to remove all instances of SQL Server. Now, of course, this isn't a requirement. I just find, as far as deployment of TFS, that it generally is a lot less problematic if I just let TFS install its own instance of SQL Server Express. Third on the list, we of course want to install TFS. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and step through this process with you so you guys can see all of this drawn out. Now, realistically, this is probably going to take about 10 to 15 minutes or so, but thanks to the wonderful tools of videography, I'm going to go ahead and speed through this process so you won't have to suffer through it with me. So now TFS has been installed, and this delivers us to the TFS Configuration Center. So this helps us with the initial process of going through and configuring TFS for our instance. I found that as far as Microsoft Access and source control are concerned anyways, that the basic tier is just perfect. Probably not for .NET, but for Microsoft Access, basic is just right. And then we can also see that for this demonstration, and as I spoke of earlier, I'm allowing TFS to install its own instance of SQL Server. And unfortunately, I am getting a system verification flag. And actually, this one is a pretty simple fix. Just the system needs a restart, so I just need to go through and do that. Now, for those of you who need to use existing instances of SQL Server, you'll probably get very familiar with this verification process. Anyways, I find because you'll end up going through a bunch of hoops to get TFS to align with your existing instances of SQL Server. But maybe not. Maybe your system is all set and good to go. But either ways, I went ahead and restarted the server. Now we're going to go back. Now you would think that TFS would bring you right back to the configuration menu, but unfortunately it doesn't. So to get back to there, I've actually included the location that you can actually just copy and paste right into the run menu or into the run dialog, which will bring you right back to the configuration menu. So I can demonstrate that here. Whoop. Actually right click, run. There we go. Paste. And okay. And this pulls up right back where we left off at the configuration center. So now this time we're going to go ahead and select the basic tier again. And go through the basic configuration just as previously. Alright, so system verification is a go. And it looks like we completely passed. So once you get all greens, you're good to go. That is the hardest part of TFS configuration, is just getting past that verification process. So to speed up time, I am going to go ahead and cut this off here, and then we'll just jump through to the installation process. So now TFS has been installed and we're ready to roll. So next we want to go ahead and go through installation of the rest of the tools in our list. So go ahead and close out of here. Close out of TFS completely. So looking at our list, We've installed TFS 2012. We've selected basic configuration. Next is installing Team Explorer 2012. So we'll go ahead and run through this. Okay, so Team Explorer is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and launch the application because the very next item on our list is connecting to TFS, and for that we will do that using Team Explorer. And as you can see, this is simply just a Visual Studio shell. And I just went ahead and clicked connect to the Team Explorer link. And as you can see, we have a default collection that's already provided for us. Of course, you can make your own collections within TFS, but for demonstration purposes, I just went ahead and went with the default. So we went ahead and we connected to TFS. Next item in our list is creating a new project. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Just go ahead and name the project whatever you'd like. And then I just usually go with the preset or the default template. Okay, our project's been created. Go ahead and close out of here. And close out of Team Explorer. Now let's look at the next item. The next item is installing the MSSCCI provider. So go ahead and pull that up. And that's complete. Close out. And the very last item in our list is installing Microsoft Access 2010, the source code controller, which really, as we can see by the link that they provide, is really Access developer extensions. Go ahead and install. And there we have it. Now we are all set and ready to go with using TFS source control with Microsoft Access. Now, of course, there's other configuration steps that you'll need to do in a multi-team environment. But for the most part, if you're just a single user, but you're just backing up your application in source control, you're ready to go. But if you have multiple users, you of course will need to configure them and their permissions within TFS itself. And as you can see, as I'm opening up in the instance of Access here, you can see we now have this source control tab within it. Maybe at a later date, maybe I'll go through just the basic steps of using it, but I think for most of you who are interested in using source control, that you'll be pretty familiar with these processes already. So again, my name is Anthony Griggs of 6 Hat Solutions. We'll see you next time.